Okay guys, section 3 multiple choice. जाना है कि नहीं बाहर? So without multiple choice बाहर नहीं जा सकती. Yeah. Okay, Scandinavian studies. Now the topic is Scandinavian studies. We have Scandinavian countries and Scandinavia is a region in Europe, right? So question number 21. I think countries like Denmark, Norway, they belong to Scandinavian or something like that. I don't know much about that. James chose to take Scandinavian studies because when he was a child. Now you need to see there will be a character James, and he took he chose to take Scandinavian studies because when he was a child, A was often taken to Denmark. Just underline taken to Denmark. For that they can say when I was a child I used to go to Denmark frequently, or every year I used to visit Denmark, or anything like that. B, mother spoke to him in Danish. So mother spoke Danish. And C, number of Danish people visited his family, like his uncles, aunts, or they were Danish and they visited his house and all that. So A, taken to Denmark, B, mother spoke Danish, and C, Danish people visited his family. Now they will speak about all three options and one of these options is the right one, two are wrong. Let's see.
You will hear James, who is in the Scandinavian Studies department at his university, talking to his tutor, Beth.
Oh, good morning. You must be James. I'm Beth Cartwright. Please call me Beth.
Thank you.
Now, as this is your first tutorial since you started on the Scandinavian Studies course, I'd like to find out something about you. Why did you decide to take this course?
Well, my mother is Danish, and although we always lived in England, she used to talk about her home a lot, and that made me want to visit Denmark. We hardly ever did, though. My mother usually went on her own. But whenever her relations or friends were in England, they always came to see us.
I see. So I assume you already speak Danish, one of the languages you'll be studying?
I can get by when I talk to people, though I'm not terribly accurate.
I can get by, but I'm not terribly accurate. So, B. B is his mother spoke to him in Danish. They did not mention it even. There is no mention that his mother spoke Danish. His mother was Danish, but she did not, they did not mention anything. Option A, he was often taken to Denmark. He said mostly we lived in England, not even Denmark. Okay, I'll play the audio again. C, number of Danish people visited his family. Relations, right? They came to us. That is the right answer. I play this audio again. Please focus.
You will hear James, who is in the Scandinavian Studies department at his university, talking to his tutor, Beth.
Oh, good morning. You must be James. I'm Beth Cartwright. Please call me Beth.
Thank you.
Now, as this is your first tutorial since you started on the Scandinavian Studies course, I'd like to find out something about you. Why did you decide to take this course?
Well, my mother is Danish, and...
My mother is Danish. That doesn't mean mother spoke in Danish with him.
Although we always lived in England.
Although we always lived in England. So he was often taken to Denmark? No.
She used to talk about her home a lot. And that...
She has to talk about her home a lot, but they did not mention in English or in Danish. Right?
Made me want to visit Denmark.
That made me want to visit Denmark. It means he did not visit that before. That made me want to visit Denmark. So he was often taken to Denmark? No. That made me want to visit Denmark. It's not A and it's not even B. So we are left with C. Let's go on.
We hardly ever did, though. My mother usually went on her own.
My mother usually went on her own. So it means this A is out of question. Absolutely.
But whenever her relations or friends were in England...
Whenever her relations or friends, relations means relatives, right, were in England,
They always came to see us.
They always came to see us. So it's C. Listen on, please.
See. So I assume you already speak Danish, one of the languages you'll be studying?
I can get by when I talk to people, though I'm not terribly accurate.
I can get by means guzara kar lena. I can get by though I'm not terribly accurate. So C, number of Danish people visited his family. Clear? Yeah. Let's go on. Question number 22. When he graduates, James would like to, future, after his graduation, he would like to do something. A, take a postgraduate course. B, work in the media. For media, they can use the word newspaper, magazine, television and all that. C, become a translator. Now they will talk about all three options. He will deny two options and he will talk about one option positively, and that is your answer. Let's go on. Question number 22.
Do you have any plans for when you graduate? A lot of students go on to take a master's degree.
I think the 4 years of the undergraduate course will be enough for me. I'm interested in journalism, and I quite like the idea of moving to Scandinavia and writing for magazines. I find that more creative than translating, which I suppose most graduates do.
Okay.
So, C. Okay, the right answer is B. Work in the media. Now I tell you why A and C are wrong answer. About A, the lady tutor asked him that you would do that. He said no, 4 years of study are enough. And then he says, I don't want to become a translator like other undergraduates do. I play it again.
Do you have any plans for when you graduate? A lot of students go on to take a master's degree.
Students go on to take a master's degree. That's what the lady says. So, he's not going to say this. Listen.
I think the 4 years of the undergraduate course will be enough for me.
Okay, so A is not the answer. Now we are left with B and C.
I'm interested in journalism, and I quite like the idea of moving to Scandinavia and writing for magazines.
Clear? Moving to Scandinavia and writing for magazines. Work in the media. I quite like the idea. Now how C is wrong? Listen.
I find that more creative than translating, which I suppose most graduates do.
I find it out more creative than translating, which most students do. So it's not about translating. He's going to join the media. Question number 23. Which course will end this term? Now there are 3 courses. Out of 3, 1 course will end this term and other courses will continue. Right? So what are the courses? A, Swedish cinema. B, Danish television programs. C, Scandinavian literature. Right? So the course that ends this term will be your answer.
Now, how are you finding the courses you're taking this term, James?
Well, I'm really enjoying the one on Swedish cinema.
That'll continue next term. But the one on Scandinavian literature that's running at the moment will be replaced by more specialized courses. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in watching Danish television programs, there's going to be a course on that the term after next.
That sounds good.
Alright, E is Swedish cinema. This course is continuing and it will continue. That's what they mentioned, right? B is Danish television programs. So how many of you think B is the right answer? And C, Scandinavian literature. That is the course which is going to be replaced by. They use the word replaced by. Replaced by means this course will finish and the next will start. I play the audio again.
Now, how are you finding the courses you're taking this term, James?
Well, I'm really enjoying the one on Swedish cinema.
That'll continue next term.
That will continue next term. So it's not A. Very clear. Now you're left with B or C.
But the one on Scandinavian literature that's running at the moment will be replaced by more specialized courses. Oh,
okay, Scandinavian literature will be replaced by more specialized courses. So will be replaced by means this course will finish and the next one will start. C is the right answer. Question number 24. They agree that James literature paper this term will be on. On means topic, right? They agree that James literature paper this term will be on A. 19th century playwrights, B. Icelandic sagas, C. modern Scandinavian novels. Now the topic is James literature paper this term will be on. On means topic, right? Let's see.
Have you started thinking about the literature paper that you have to write in the next few weeks?
Yes, my first choice would be to do something on the Icelandic sagas.
The trouble with that is that a lot of people choose that topic, and it can be difficult to get hold of the books you'll need. Why not leave that for another time?
Right.
You might find modern novels or 19th century playwrights interesting.
I've read or seen several plays in translation, so that would be a good idea.
Fine. I'll put you down for that topic.
Right.
A. 19th century playwrights. And about B. Icelandic sagas, she said a lot of students are doing it, so resources will not be available. Question number 25. Beth recommends that James paper should be. Paper means research paper. James paper should be A. historical overview of the genre. Genre means kind or type. Historical overview, you can just underline that. B. In-depth analysis of a single writer. In-depth analysis, single writer. Single writer like Shakespeare or any one writer. C. Study of the social background of the literature. So study of social background and literature. Let's see.
So what would you advise me to aim at in the paper?
First, I suggest you avoid taking one writer and going into a great deal of detail. That approach certainly has its place, but I think you first need to get an understanding of the literature in the context of the society in which it was produced, who it was written for, how it was published, and so on. I also think that's more fruitful than placing it within the history of the genre.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
C. And at the end she cleverly said, I think that's more suitable than historical overview of the genre. So it's actually C. Study of the social background of the literature. Okay, let's go on. Next we have flow chart completion, and they have already given us list of words, so we will use the words from there. Complete the flow chart below. Now there are two things. You will find the word from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you will only write the number, means A, B, C or D. Let's read the questions, by the way. So you need to look at the options as well and the questions. Question number 26. The title is How James Will Write His Paper on the Vikings. How James will write his paper, and I told you it's a research paper. He will read a dash and choose his topic. Read a dash. A. Bullet points. B. Film. Can he read a film? Not at all. Notes. Can he read the notes? Yes. Structure. E. Student paper. F. Textbook. Yes, he can read a textbook. G. Documentary. No, documentary is for visual. So it can be bullet point, notes, student paper or textbook. Now let's see.
Could I ask for some advice about writing the paper I'm working on about the Vikings? I have to do that this week, and I'm a bit stuck.
Of course. Have you decided yet what to write about?
No, I haven't. There's so much that seems interesting. Viking settlement in other countries, trade, mythology.
Well, what I suggest is that you read an assignment a student wrote last year, which is kept in the library. It's short and well-focused, and I'm sure you'll find it helpful. I'll give you the details in a moment. Textbooks usually cover so many topics, it can be very difficult to choose just one.
Okay.
Read an assignment which was done by a student last year. It is E. And then she said textbooks are this and that. So it's not textbook. The right answer is E. Clear? Now question number 27. He will borrow a dash from Beth. Beth is that lady. He's going to take something from her. So he may take, can he take bullet points? No, it can be a film or maybe a documentary or something like that. Let's see.
I've got a DVD of the film about the Vikings that came out earlier this year. Should I watch that again?
If it's the one I am thinking of, I'd ignore it. It's more fantasy than reality. But I've got a recording of a documentary that you should watch. It makes some interesting and provocative points, which I think will help you to focus your topic.
I've got a
Right.
documentary of a recording that you should watch. He said, I have a film, but she said, no, that's more like a fairy tale or fantasy and all that. So the answer is G, exactly. Question number 28. He'll plan the dash of the paper. Dash of the paper means the part of some research paper. So he'll plan. Now it cannot be he'll plan the film of the paper. It can be he'll plan the bullet points of the paper, notes of the paper, structure of the paper. We cannot use student paper already used, textbook of the paper, and documentary is already used. So one word will be used once only. Let's see.
So then, should I work out an outline?
Yes, just headings for different sections at this stage.
Different sections of this at this stage. Let's listen to it again. That is too quick.
So then, should I work out an outline?
Yes, just headings for different
Work
sections at
out
this stage.
an outline. Now what is outline? Outline is not bullet points. Outline is structure. Bullet points are not outline. Question number 29. He'll read some source material and write dash. Read source material. Now you cannot say write film. It can be write bullet points, write notes. Structure is already used. Student paper is used. Write textbook, not possible. Huh? And documentary is already used. So let's see.
And then you should start looking for suitable articles and books to draw on. And take notes, which you organize according to those headings.
I see.
And take notes. So notes is C. You will not write notes, you will write C. Question number 30. He will write the paper using dash. Now something is going to use for writing his research paper.
Then put short phrases and sentences as bullet points under each heading. Make sure that this skeleton makes sense and flows properly before writing up the paper in full.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
He'll
That's
write the
very
paper
helpful.
using bullet points. Okay, that's right.